Well, it's Friday, and you all know what that means. That means, as you know, we have AEW Rampage with some interesting matches taking place. We have, of course, the Conglomerate taking on the guys from the Undisputed Kingdom. And then, of course, we have Kris Statlander, we have the Lucha Brothers, and plenty others talent as well. Then we move on to see who's going to level up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up. But first things first, we're going to be reviewing, of course, ChocoPro with two of their events. The first one is, of course, 382, and of course, then 383. Now, nothing too significant, but who doesn't love a bit of fun with the guys from ChocoPro? So, we're going to see what happens in those shows as well. And then after that, we're going to be capping up our episode with some news updates to give you guys updates what's been going on in the world of pro wrestling, such as what events the promotions are throwing out, who's booked, what matches are set, and developments that are happening in the world of pro wrestling as we speak. So, let's get ready for another episode of the Deleted Wrestle Zone.
Are you ready? Get up, get up! 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 Get up, get up!
Hey everyone, welcome to the Deleted Wrestle Zone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics, such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, I can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be gaining a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, it's hammer time. So let's begin, of course, with our very first review, and this is from ChocoPro number 382. Okay, ChocoPro 382. Now, this particular show took place on July 9th. July 9th. We are on July 19th, so basically 10 days after. So, forgive me for taking this long, but it happened. Now, of course, the show opened up with, of course, Mei Shiruga giving the fans the lowdown, the info of what's is going to happen for the entirety of the event. But on a note here, I want to make you guys clear that Balinaki was not present at this time. I think he might have done a tour outside of Japan. I'm not 100% sure, but yes, that's what really was going on. Now, our first match we have, of course, is Hiroyi Yamada, the rookie, takes on Chi Koshikawa. Now, I'm sure many of you would say Chi got this in the bag. Yes, because we know she has more experience than Yamada, maybe a couple years of experience. Of course, Hiroyi, who's barely new, getting her footing in, she's yet to pick up her first single win just yet. But however, when it comes to Chi, you know she's full of energy. She was able to apply the stretch muffler, which is the technical name that we've seen from certain wrestlers like Despy with the numero dos, that submission he does all the time. So that's what it is. And that allowed for Chiko Shikawa to pick up the win. Now, our second match, we have Rekka. You may have seen him in P Tokyo or Pro Wrestling Freedoms. He teams up with the de facto leader of Colors, Saki. They take on CDK's Masahiro Takanashi and Chris Brooks. Now, of course, this is going to be a very interesting match. Now, when it comes to CDK, there's a few things we know about them. We know that Masa is a bit of a clever and slick wrestler, while Brooks, we know he's a team player. He always gets the job done no matter what. But however, with Rekka and Saki, they are, of course, the factor here where, okay, these guys have never teamed up before. This is a makeshift team. They're facing against a team that has better cohesion than any other team, which, of course, was true. But however, as always, when it comes to CDK, they always win by double pinfall, and that's exactly what happened. So, both Saki and Rekka lost when they were pinned by CDK, and that allowed them to pick up the win. Now, our next match we have, of course, is Saki Obihiro, or as we call her, Obi. She teams up with Coyote Yonoyama, taking on Leon from Pure J, teams up with the Big Apple, Mei Shruga. Now, of course, this was going to be interesting. Now, it's no secret that Mei and Coyote have clashed in the past to find out who is the best high speedster. So that's always been the clear-cut case. However, we know Obihiro has several tricks up her sleeve, but none of that worked in her favor, all thanks to a very interesting teaming between Leon and Mei Shruga. It was Mei Shruga who picked up the win by pinning Obi, but with all the assistance of Leon that made sure it stayed that way. And that's how she picked up the win. Now, for our Jonkin tournament, I'll skip to the end. The winner for this one is Masahiro Takanashi. We've seen him win a lot of times, which, of course, is no surprising. Now, for a post-show, as you know, ChocoPro is the flagship show by Got to Move. As you know, Got to Move are doing up the shows coming up, but their biggest show, it will be in Korakuen Hall later on this year. They've been doing series of shows that will lead to that, the Road to Korakuen, and their show, I think their next upcoming show, I'm not sure, is their final because A, there is no English translator. I mean, Balinaki does the translation for all of us, but the title of the Road to Korakuen is called The Final Countdown. It's kind of like the Final Countdown sung by the metal band Europe. I wouldn't be surprised if this means this is the last show before we head to Korakuen Hall, but who knows? Now, they still are making announcements for upcoming matches for that day, and we'll see that when it comes. But as of right now, we'll end things here with this ChocoPro show and move on with 383. Hey everyone, welcome to the Lead It WrestleZone. All things that is pro wrestling with AEW, NXT, New Japan Pro Wrestling, TNA, the National Wrestling Alliance, various promotions, wrestlers, matches, and championships. I am your host, J-Rod here. So, if you are new to the channel, welcome. This is a channel where we do a lot of pro wrestling reviews from various promotions, not only here in the United States, but also in Japan, Mexico, Canada, Europe, the UK, anywhere in the world where pro wrestling is not as big, but it continues to grow. We also, of course, do discussion videos, talk about various topics such as the wrestlers themselves, the promotions, factions, storylines, whatever we want to talk about. We also, of course, do more news updates. If certain information is unable to be on this episode, I can either put it on the next episode or on a separate video by itself. We also, of course, do real-time news updates to keep you guys on alert if something has happened in the world of pro wrestling that needs to be addressed ASAP. We also, of course, do the Unagi Sayaka Watch and various other cool wrestling content as well. So if you like what you see, please subscribe to us. So click on that subscribe button. You'll be gaining a lot of daily reviews and other cool wrestling content as well. But if you like this episode, please give us a like on the like button or a nice comment in the description down below. Now, it's hammer time. So, let's begin, of course, with our very first review, and this is from ChocoPro, number 382. Hey, AEW Rampage opened up with the conglomeration consistent of Tomohiro Ishii, Kyle O'Reilly, and Orange Cassidy. They take on the Undisputed Kingdom, Matt Taven, Mike Bennett, and of course, Roderick Strong. Now, it's no secret that certain storylines fits in perfectly. Now, we know that Roderick Strong has challenged Orange Cassidy before for the international title in the past, but not only that, he is challenging their friend Mark Briscoe for the ROH World title. Now, you would think that, okay, we see how cohesion the Undisputed Kingdom can be. However, no matter how things get tough, it was Orange Cassidy, on the other hand, who picked up the win with the Orange Punch onto Taven. But however, that sliming little weasel, Don Callis, showed up. As you know, I think he is still a little pissed after what happened last week when Orange Cassidy whacked Trent Beretta with the monkey wrench. He sent his little killer, Kyle Fletcher, to get involved. And then things got out of hand. Mark Briscoe showed up for the save. And then, of course, Roderick Strong decided to attack him to give him a warning that he is dethroning him from the ROH World title. But however, we did see a little bit of an interview with the conglomerate, well, a video promo about, Mark Briscoe talking how he does not appreciate the fact that he had his belt held on hot. But he did mention on Collision that Roderick Strong will be in action to take on Tomohiro Ishii. So we can't wait to see this. Now, of course, we saw what happened in the start of the Owen Hart Foundation's women's tournament. Saraya, as you know, did not win the tournament. She will not be getting her Wembley Stadium moment. However, she is determined to find a way to get there. So, I don't know exactly what she's cooking, but we'll get to that at some point. Now, our next match, we have Big Bill and Chris Jericho taking on the Outrunners. Now, of course, Jericho probably is still a little shaken after, finding out that he has to deal with Minoru Suzuki and the FTW Championship this coming Wednesday, but we'll see what happens. But however, Big Bill actually choke-slammed Turbo, allowing for Jericho to be the one to pick up the pinfall. Now, as soon as Jericho was celebrating his match, well, Murder Grandpa showed up to get him a clear eye. He faces against the Butcher. Now, of course, the Butcher may be a strong, big individual, but when it comes to Murder Grandpa, well, he is about to make his moment where he kills his victims. And of course, he did put, Butcher in the Gotch-style pile driver, and just like that, it was over. Now, our next match, Kris Statlander versus Cindy Winnell. Now, there is one thing that does make a little sense. Now, as you know, Willow Nightingale, Kris Statlander ruined Willow Nightingale's chances to become a two-time back-to-back winner of the Owen Hart Foundation tournament. But they must be, Kris Statlander and that weasel Stokely Hathaway must be bitter, thinking, we did what we did. We screwed you, Willow Nightingale, so we won. And then all of a sudden, Willow wins a championship. So the obvious question is, she's taking her frustrations out on her opponent, which is Sydney Winnell, which it kind of did. I would like to say so. And then, of course, she put her in the Saturday Night Fever. But I wouldn't be surprised that this feud between Statlander and Willow is not over yet. I'm sure that we will see that Stokely Hathaway will do whatever it takes to ensure to make Willow's life a living hell, even if that means he wants her to put the CML World Women's title on the line. But we'll see. Now, our next match, which is our main event, we have the Lucha Brothers. Penta and Rey Fenix reunite once again, taking on, oh my god, is that Private Party? Yep, Private Party. Now, you know there's going to be some amazing spots. These are two of the most excellent high flyers we have watched in the past. But yes, I would have assumed that there was going to be some great moments. But in the end, it was, of course, the fear factor onto Quinn, thanks to Penta and Phoenix to put him away. And just like that, Penta picked up the win onto Quinn. And just like that, 1, 2, 3, it's over. Just like that. So Rampage was good. I liked it. It was a pretty good event. Can't wait to see what's going to happen in Collision. Well, right now, let's move on with our last and final review, NXT Level Up. Okay, so who levels up on this latest episode of NXT Level Up? Let's find out. Our first match, we have the ladies taking action. We have Jakara Jackson versus Kendall Gray. Now, of course, we hardly see Jakara Jackson in action that much, but Kendall Gray, we have seen her mostly in NXT Level Up. She has, of course, her BFF, Carly Bright, by her corner, while Jakara has Lash Legend. However, this match did not go according to plan for Kendall because it was Jakara Jackson with the Sugar Rush that, of course, allowed her to win the match. But, however, we did see a little bit of an interview with Kendall Gray. She's grown into frustrations, losing all her matches. But, however, Carly Bright decided, let's have a match against each other to see if you can step up your game just a little bit. So, that's going to be interesting. I mean, we've seen friends who challenge each other to step up their game. We'll see how that will do any good the next time. Now, last week we did see how things went to hell between Dion Lennox and Uriah Faber. Now, Uriah Faber was intending to cut corners to win. Dion Lennox was nowhere near and wanted to do that, so he confronted him. So they basically clashed. They started fighting each other, and they were separated. Now, we wouldn't be surprised if some point down the road in NXT Level Up that those two will face off each other. So we could see something like that. Now, our next match, we have Adriana Rizzo of the D'Angelo family taking on Lainey Reed. Don't know much about her, but I can give you the insight that this match was over the moment it started. Well, it was over thanks to Adriana Rizzo with her fantastic move where she does like a flip to do into a pinfall, and just like that. So we'll see what happens until then. Now, our main event, we have Eddie Thorpe versus Charlotte Hill. But however, Lexis King, who has issues towards Eddie Thorpe, showed up. Now, we saw what happened during the Heritage Cup match where Eddie Thorpe got in the face of Lexis King. All this night, Lexis likes to get into people's business, saying that you don't belong here, you better get out of here, this is a place for a king like him. Well, this time, of course, Eddie Thorpe wasn't going to let his presence ruin him, but he wanted to know this is going to happen to you the next time we bump into each other. But it was Thorpe that picked up the win with implant DDT, and just like that, it was over. But I wouldn't be surprised if Eddie Thorpe and Lexis King will clash either on NXT Level Up or on NXT. So we'll see how that rolls up from here. Now, it could be either way. But as right now, we'll leave things as it is with all reviews and everything else. Let's move on with our next and final thing we're going to do, which is news updates. Okay, so welcome to our news updates. Now, let's begin with upcoming events from the promotions. Now, as you know, there is a promotion based out of LA, but the promoter, he's actually from here, from my hometown in San Diego. Two things have come around for that promotion. One, as you all know, we have the Yabai event happening on the 18th in LA, and they just announced of course, Su Yung will be there. However, another event was announced a day before the Yabai event, and it's going to take place right here in San Diego. So the promoter actually announced that this will take place at the Brick by Brick event. If anybody from the San Diego area know that location, then you guys know what I'm definitely talking about. Tickets already on sale, and I believe the general admission is about $40. Now, I know some of you are asking me, J-Rod, since you announced you're going to go to the West Coast Pro event in September, you're planning to go there. I'm not sure, because the thing is, I'm going to wait it out a little bit, and I'll explain a little bit about that at some point. Depending on who they're going to bring. I know there's names that have been announced for this particular event. This is who they have. Heidi Howitzer, Aspen Rose, and Lady Pink. Now, if there's any Yoshi wrestlers that are going to be there, I'm definitely going. I don't want to miss that for the world, but we'll see. We'll see what the promoter does. I know he's going to try to bring some Yoshi wrestlers. Now, as you know, in the previous news update, as you know, I mentioned for the Bloodsport event, Julius Creed will be in action to take on Matt Miskowski. But some of you may question, what about his brother, Brutus? Well, Brutus has been announced that he will be in action too, but he will take on Tom Filthy Lawler. That's right. Tom Filthy Lawler will face against Brodus Creed. That's going to be an interesting match to watch. Now, West Coast Pro has announced for a brand new show that'll take place in October, a month after the San Diego Showdown. This one is based on the song from Metallica, The Thing That Should Not Be. So if you guys are big fans of Metallica, then you guys know the name of the song. So yes, this will take place on the 11th of October. So yes, so this will be back in their territory in San Francisco. So no, I'm not going over there for that. So anyway, if any big events coming here in San Diego, that's where I'm going. Now let's talk about certain developments. Now, for all of you know this, we had the recent events for both Mighty Gold and Pro Wrestling Noah. Now, Dave Meltzer has given his rankings for both the WWE wrestlers that went to these respective shows. Now, let me pull that up real quick for everybody. No, never mind. Yes. This is what happened. The match between AJ Styles and Naomichi Marufuji got a 3.75, 4 3/4 stars. So basically, yes. And the same thing goes to Io Sky versus Utami Ayashida. Now, I'm gonna ask you guys, is it fair for that? You guys tell me. You know, I'm not gonna speak on that. Those of you may ask, will we ever see more of the Tongan family, more specifically like Tama Tonga and all that? Well, it's been told that his little brother, or big little brother, Hikuleo, is now signed with WWE, so he will be making his way in there soon. Now, apparently there was an interesting development. Now, those who know this, Rossy Ogawa is a big fan of Megan Bayne. Apparently, he was determined to bring her to the Mighty Gold event, but from what Wrestling Observer reports, this is what they said. Mighty Gold expected Megan Bayne to be at the current tour. She had left Stardom and apparently verbally agreed to switch to Mighty Gold. She asked if she could do another woman on another tour with Rebecca Scott. Rossy Ogawa agreed to it and planned on 5 foreign women on the tour and had prepared visas for both of them. She told Mighty Gold that she had contract problem with AEW. I would say with politics as they are, AEW would likely not want one of their wrestlers working for Mighty Gold. Evidently, they never heard back from either of them, assuming that neither were coming, but never actually got emails in return when asked. So it appears that Rossy had more ideas of having 5 foreign wrestlers making their way, and Megan Bayne was one of them. But due to the fact that we've been hearing, of course, that Megan Bayne and AEW were in talks together, it would make sense. But, yeah, so that's pretty much what we've been hearing. Now, Konosuke Takeshita, as you know, he was asked in an interview in New Japan, asking him, why did you choose to go to AEW if he could have gone to WWE? This is what he said. It's still a short list of Japanese wrestlers who break it big in America. And at the time, they weren't Japanese males in AEW. You have Shinsuke Nakamura in WWE, Asuka and Io Shirai in the women's division. But there was a chance I could go down in road nobody has ever gone in AEW, and that's why I did it. I mean, it's true. I mean, you would think, okay, you got Shinsuke Nakamura, a bigger star, he could be but he feels he can be a much bigger star in AEW. I mean, we have seen what an incredible wrestler he is, and of course, that's something we cannot deny. Now, of course, Wrestling Observer reports more about the Motor City Machine Guns expected to be in WWE. Now, we know that AEW did had some talks, been considering recruiting them, but this is what Wrestling Observer said about them heading to WWE. Kris and Alex Shaven are coming here to WWE, or at least that's the talk within the wrestling. It's been known for months that they have been in talks with AEW and WWE ever since their TNA contracts expired. Of late, indications were that WWE made a better offer, but they were expected to be in whichever side made best. Within the wrestling belief, it was WWE bound, and Tommaso Ciampa made a reference in social media that they are being completely silent about it, clearly made their decision on the way or the other. So basically, it's still unclear. Now, those are saying that they will make their choice will be WWE, but we just don't know yet. Everything is total silence. All we got to do is wait and see what happens. Now, once again, Matt Riddle continues to piss off people, and this time it's with Puerto Rican promotion IWA, which is run by Savio Vega. This is what's been going on. Breaking this, Savio Vega, the owner of IWA Wrestling at Puerto Rico, has announced today that Matt Riddle, has canceled without notice the last minute that he won't attend this match tomorrow in Puerto Rico. On top of that, Savio Vega and IWA came to the agreement that Matthew Riddle this past April for this match tomorrow night, that the agreement included hotel, airplane ticket, all covered by the IWA. Matthew Riddle didn't even really notify ahead of time he wasn't showing up at the event. On top of that, Matthew Riddle scheduled an event for tomorrow night this last couple of days. So basically, he is now burning another bridge. I mean, this is really dumb. He should have notified this, but yes. Now, our last development here, as you know, Tsukasa Fujimoto was injured for a while after that match she had against Mayu Iwatani. Well, this is what Scott Edwards reports. It was announced that on Ice Ribbon she will be returning to the ring on July 17th for the Ice Ribbon. This officially confirms that she will compete at Surrealism Chapter 4. 2 days later, the team with best friends partner Arisa Nakajima to take on Mio Momono and Riko Kawahara. Fujimoto had injured an arm in the IWGP Women's match against Mayu, so it's great to see that she's already back, ready to go. So basically, she's ready to get. She'll be returning to, of course, to Ice Ribbon, and then 2 days later at the Surrealism event. So we'll see what happens from here, and I hope she doesn't injure herself again. So I think that's pretty much it. So let's just call it a day. Well, that's pretty much it, what we have for our episode. I hope you guys enjoyed it. Now, coming up, we have day 1 of New Japan's Pro Wrestling G1 Climax. So, this is just going to be the opener for everybody. The winners will get 2 points. So, we'll see how that goes up. We do have Slammiversary taking. I'm still waiting if I'm going to do that. We do have AEW Collision. So, there's plenty of things that we're going to have. So, this entire weekend, it's going to be a bit of chaotic. But nonetheless, it'll be a lot of fun. So we'll see how that grows. But as of right now, I will see you guys in the next DWZ time. Same DWZ channel. I must bid all of you adieu. So, goodbye. And have a nice day.